Ever wondered why you struggle with certain beliefs about yourself, even when they don't seem logical? What if I told you that these limiting beliefs could be rooted in memories formed during times when you weren't thinking clearly? In this video, we'll explore the fascinating connection between our past experiences and the self-imposed limitations we carry with us today. I think this video is massively important. We're going to look at something that gets overlooked when it comes to the clarity of our thinking and how we see ourselves. When I talk about mental clarity, I often talk about how powerful it is for solving your biggest personal problems. This video is going to dive deeper into that. See, when it comes to the way we view ourselves, what we're talking about is our self-image. It's who we believe we are. And when we're making decisions, we often are making those decisions in an effort to stay true to who we believe we are. We all have an ongoing conversation that we're having with ourselves in our head, our self-talk. The you that you're talking to is based largely on that self-image. Our self-image is built largely on our past experiences. We take our memories of our past and we construct our self-image out of those memories. For a lot of us, we never really look at the memories that we're using to build our self-image. That's what we're going to do in this video. By the end of it, you're probably going to see that you may not know yourself the way you think you do. Most importantly, you may have a lot of false beliefs about your limitations and what you're really capable of. The main thing I hope you'll take from this is that you might be capable of a lot more than you think you are. When it comes to our memories, they're really the building blocks of how we see ourselves. Memories play a crucial role in shaping our self-perception because they serve as the bricks that we use to build our personal identity. We essentially build our self-image out of our memories. That shapes how we see ourselves and influences how we act in the present moment. Just about everything you think about yourself is based on memories. If you think you're smart, it's because you have memories of getting good grades or having people tell you you were smart. If you think you're physically unattractive, it's because you have memories of getting turned down by people you were attracted to, or you don't have memories of being asked out. So let's use the idea of thinking you're unattractive and expand on that one, okay? So you have multiple memories of expressing your interest in somebody and then having them reject you or say that they just wanted to be friends. Those are all memories that you have. The way the human mind works is it makes stories. It takes our experiences and it creates a story out of them. Then that story becomes part of the story of you. It's a theme in the story you tell yourself about yourself in your head. Now, an important factor here is that the vast majority of human beings never question their memories. We never ask if we're remembering an event right. We definitely never take a look at the way our mind was functioning at the time a memory was formed. For example, right? Let's say that you're in your 30s and you think you're unattractive. Well, why? It's probably because you have memories from your 20s of events and experiences that made you feel like you were unattractive. But when did those experiences take place? Were they at school? Were they at work? Were they at parties, bars, or social gatherings? Well, when I was in my 20s, a lot of social interactions and situations where you'd meet people were at parties and bars. All places where people tend to drink alcohol and do recreational drugs. If you were at a bar and something happened when you were made to feel unattractive, there's a good chance that there was alcohol in your system when it happened. Knowing that, a fair question to ask is, can you trust that memory? Can you trust that you remember everything about what you said and what the other person said properly? If you know about the effects of alcohol on the brain, the truth is that you really can't. Certain more immediate effects of alcohol, like slurred speech, are well known, but what about the more immediate effects of alcohol when it comes to your thinking? Alcohol causes memory impairment, and it disrupts the neurotransmitters in your brain. That disruption affects your feelings, thoughts, and behavior while you're intoxicated. In fact, anytime you had alcohol, marijuana, or any other substance in your system, it's fair to question your memory of what happened. It's fair to question any memories that were formed while you're not sober. If you're like me and you used marijuana and alcohol regularly during your 20s, then you probably need to question a lot of your memories from that time. Maybe you've created a story in your head based on warped memories. Maybe you added or deleted important parts of experiences. Maybe you misremembered key parts of events. Maybe you've been telling yourself a story in your head based on smaller stories that are made up of a lot of bullshit. Bullshit that says more about your insecurities than it does about what actually happened. Think of it like this. Your concept of who you are is a building made of bricks. Each brick is a memory of some event or experience, something somebody said. There are good solid bricks that were formed when you were sober and reasonably well rested. But then there are other bricks, and they're warped and uneven. These bricks represent the memories that were formed when you had alcohol in your system, had marijuana in your system, or when you had a bad night of sleep. Still warped or not, those bricks are still part of the building, part of the you that you have in your mind. I don't know you, and I don't know how many warped bricks are part of the story of you that you keep playing back to yourself in your head. But you know. So stop and think about it. How many memories do you have that were formed when you weren't thinking clearly? Basically, when you weren't sober or rested. Is it a lot? Is it so many that maybe some of the things you believe about yourself might be wrong, might be unreliable? Are you telling yourself you're not lovable and it's based largely on memories that were formed when you weren't clear-headed? Are you telling yourself that you're unattractive and it's based on your warped memory of experiences that you had when you weren't thinking clearly? Are you telling yourself that you don't deserve good things in life, and the reason you think that is because you have memories that probably weren't and aren't completely accurate? The truth is that the more days you spent not sober or poorly rested, the less you really know about who you are. The more days you've spent not sober or poorly rested, the less likely your self-image represents the reality of you. But that can change. You can start creating more and more good solid memories, memories formed when your mind is clear. You can trust those memories and the stories that get made with those memories. You can form an idea of yourself that's based in clear-headed reality and then be having an ongoing conversation with that. That's why I'm such a big proponent of prioritizing mental clarity. Most of us are living our lives a certain way because of the story we're telling ourselves about ourselves in our head. And for a lot of people, that's really unfortunate because that story is more a representation of how clearly we've been thinking during key moments in our lives than it is a representation of who we really are, who we've been, or how other people actually see us. Think about what it might mean if you realize that you have a lot of memories that were formed when you weren't thinking clearly. If you struggle with negative self-talk, maybe it's because you're talking to yourself based on certain beliefs that you have about yourself that are based on memories that are completely unreliable. Do this. Think about some of the limiting beliefs you have about yourself. Think about the reasons you give to yourself for why you can't do something, or you aren't deserving of something, or why you're just not good enough. Then ask yourself why you think that. Whatever memories your mind presents to you, ask yourself how clearly you were thinking when that event happened. Ask yourself how reliable that memory is. I think you'll start seeing that your limiting beliefs stand on very shaky ground. My name is Brian Odom. I believe that with a healthy brain and a present mind, you can solve your biggest personal problems. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. Please like, subscribe, and follow. And I'll see you in the next video.